Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone that we are presented by BetOnline.ag. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. BetOnline has the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, and even political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Load it up, Carl. This shit feel like Game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings.
Welcome to the Money Down on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us. Appreciate all the likes, subscribing. We appreciate all the love. Been a lot of great stuff going on in the NFL this week. A lot of trades, a lot of moves. You know, teams trying to make that final push to get a player to get them over the hump. And the biggest move, obviously, has been Devante Adams has been officially traded to the New York Jets. You know, everybody thought this was going to happen during the offseason or will happen at some point during the year. You saw the frustration between Devante and his hamstring and the Las Vegas Raiders, the quote-unquote hamstring injury that is cured already. Once he landed in New Jersey to be on their roster. I don't know how y'all feel about this move. Does it give the Jets that that catapult, that jump that they need on offense to get things going, or do you need to see more from this football team overall for them to get on that push to try and make it to the playoffs?
I don't really it's tough, man. Obviously, it's a blockbuster move. Being able to pair him up back with Aaron Rodgers and also having Garrett Wilson on the other side. We know how much of a star receiver in the making he is. Mm-hmm. Being able to have somebody like DA come over and kind of pretty much show him the ropes is, as we're going to talk about in a little bit, right? Like, do they become one of the best tandems or, potentially in the NFL? I think it's a great move, but I just don't think it put them over the hump. Me and James, we talked about it a little bit last night briefly, just with the defense side of the ball. They're playing good. They holding teams down to, minimum points, 20, which in the NFL, that should give you enough to win. But it just don't feel or seem the same as the dominance that they had previously before. So I think they still got to face some issues on defense, whether I don't know what that be, whether that be, causing more turnovers or, getting 12, and what's it 12, but getting Aaron Rodgers the ball more. But I think it started on that defense side of the ball. Obviously, the offense got to play better, but the defense is going to have to make some great plays to just keep them ahead of the float.
I was gonna say, you bringing in Devante. That's gonna be a huge boost for your offense. Aaron Rodgers and Devante already got a pre-built relationship. You've seen what he's been able to do with Allen Lazard. They had a pre-built relationship, and Allen Lazard's been playing some good ball. So having three receivers of that caliber on that offense is gonna be huge. You got a great backfield. I would like to see a little bit more from the offensive line, being able to keep them protected, being able to get some other things extended downfield. But I think that's gonna come. It's gonna. I think having Devante Adams, somebody that can get open real quick, you're going to move you're going to move Garrett Wilson into the slot, which is going to help you a ton. I think that's what they're going to end up doing. That's what I would do. But right, like Bree said, on the defensive side, like they have to be able to get their offense back on the field, give Aaron Rodgers some more opportunities to get the ball into the end zone. They haven't looked like the top 5 defense we were expected to see at the beginning of the season. So definitely got to see a lot more from the defensive side of the ball for sure to help them have that, turnaround going into the next half of the season.
I do believe it gives them a huge boost, offensively. You get Devante Adams is a guy who dictates coverage. He'll dictate double coverage. The shell gonna really have to declare when you got him and you got Garrett Wilson on the other side. You're gonna have to figure out who you're gonna try and double, who you're gonna try and slow down that day. It's going to be tough for a lot of teams. You don't have two, dang near number one corners on your team. And one of these guys going to have a favorable matchup, and Aaron Rodgers is going to find that matchup as much as possible. And I like the creativity from the new play caller, Todd Downing, last week, a little bit more creativity, shifting, moving those guys around. So, look, you're going to have Devante in the slot sometimes. You're going to have Garrett Wilson on the outside. You're going to have those guys motioning. That's going to be tough to handle. So I do think that gives them a boost there. Like you guys said, defensively, I think they just need to get back to, being a little bit more detailed. I think early on in the football game, dominating, especially in the run game. Teams have been able to run the ball on them, pretty well. Yeah. So I think maybe when they get C.J. Mosley back, maybe that helps some. The guy in the middle, the real, bell cow in the middle of their defense. Maybe that helps sure things up in the middle, along with having Quentin Williams in there. So I think it gives them a boost. I don't know how much of it, how many wins that results in, but I expect their offense to be more explosive. I mean, Breece Hall had a day the other night. If you add Devante to that mix, now defenses you might get a little bit more, too high safety to try and if they become one of those down the field shot teams. I like the move. I think we all knew this was going to happen. We'll see if this results in them, really getting the push that they need. You think so? Oh,
I just like I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about it. It's just, man, it's so tough. I think they're sitting at 2-4 right now. I mean, things are ramping up. Warren, Warren James, we've been talking about it, right? That week 6, week 5 is where you start to really see like what the hell you got going on in the building. Obviously, firing your coach was a huge move and shook up a lot in that locker room. And then expecting, and I get it. The Devante Adams trade is still big, but firing somebody that's been there for the past couple of years and that kind of knows that franchise and knows the players and what's going on in the locker room, I think it's a bigger fix that needs to be addressed other than just what Devante Adams brings. But I'm super excited to see, like you talked about, how teams are going to be able to try and stop this tandem, right? Because you're talking about, I look at a lot of other receiver tandems out there, and I see matchups where you feel comfortable, right? If I double Jamar Chase, not saying that T. Higgins is no slouch because he's a star in his league, but you kind of take your chances like one-on-one, like, hey, James, you got to put your big boy pants on this week. You got a one-on-one in certain situations. I just think it's going to be real tough, man, for teams deciding, because Garrett Wilson he's been getting those double teams. Yeah. Right. So it just shows you what teams think of him,
Already, yeah.
And now you adding who, my favorite player in the league, but kind of done regressed a little bit if you talk about the receiver conversation, but
partially due to the quarterback situation.
Partially due to the quarterback. It ain't his fault. He's still around with who's up.
But really is a top 5, top 3, you know what I'm saying, like receiver in this league. So having a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, I'm just going to be excited from the defensive, standpoint of how teams are going to stop him, because I don't know how, but we'll see for sure.
It's going to be tough. I'm excited to see the game plan this week, see how it ends up shaking out, how many times, Devante Adams gets targeted and Garrett Wilson, because, look,
good defense matchup, too.
Yeah, so.
Very good defensive matchup against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
right?
Pittsburgh, so it's going to be a challenge.
Blitzburgh.
And another receiver got moved the other day. Amari Cooper got traded to the Buffalo Bills. I know we thought Devante Adams would be, maybe a prized possession there that they would try and go after, but they end up getting Amari Cooper, which is an excellent pickup in my opinion. This is one of the most underrated receivers in all of football, probably ever since he stepped foot in the league. Yeah. Just quiet, runs crisp routes, can run the entire route tree. I know he has, a few years and stuff. This year he battling some of the drops and stuff, but still, he's an explosive play waiting to happen. Josh Allen doesn't necessarily have a number one target right now, a guy who you can trust in one-on-one or key situations to literally go out there and route somebody up. You get the ball too. So I think this is an excellent move. I think this team has been playing, pretty well so far, with all the transactions and losses that they had this offseason. They've been playing well. And Josh Allen's been playing like an MVP. Now you get him a real guy on the outside. I'm excited to see this combination.
I am too, bro. And we've already seen what he's able to do with a star receiver. Obviously the move with Diggs going to Houston, it's kind of been like a gray area for Josh, right? He's been working with, not a true number one on the outside and guys that have stepped up, but still got a lot to prove. But you bring in somebody like Coop, right? When you constantly hear from guys in the NFL saying how underrated he is. And the only reason why he's underrated is, like you said, he's just quiet as hell, like won't say a word, So I think the part that's going to set them apart is Josh brings that element of extending the play. So you already talk about trying to stop a receiver that's extremely hard to stop. with timing and just regular, route combinations. But having somebody where he can create the play and extend the play a little bit longer, I think it's going to be a crazy tandem. Like I'm really looking forward to it, especially in the division that's kind of down this year. Yeah. And we're going to see, man. Buffalo is a team that, I think everybody was really on the train until they ran into Baltimore. And I think some of the flaws showed against Baltimore. But now they're addressing some of those flaws. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a big move for them. Like Breeze was saying, like we've been able to see what they've really been able to do. They're 4-2, and he doesn't have a number one receiver. So now having a number one receiver, somebody who could get him out them jams, who can get separation, who can make plays down the field. I mean, I think it's only going to make them that much better, right? And give them a better chance of winning the AFC East. I mean, it's wide open. Like we know it's there. Defense has been playing well. Got him in a good spot. So I think it's gonna play out in their favor.
Yeah, we might as well get to it. We kind of brought it up, Soj. Now that some of these guys have been moved around, there's some more dynamic duos in the NFL right now. Who do you guys believe is the best duo in the NFL? We got obviously Adams Wilson for the Jets. You got Jamar Chase Higgins for the Bengals. You got Cheetah Waddle, Miami. You got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua when they're healthy. You got Jay Jettas, Jordan Addison in Minnesota. You got a lot of them. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Chicago, Debo Ayuk, San Fran, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and they got Tank Dale, so they got 3 over there. Devante Smith, AJ Brown, Philly. You got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, underrated guys, just pretty consistent. Too. So it's a lot of them. It's tough. It's you kind of.
Who you going with?
I know you mentioned, they wasn't, really, you take your chance with that guy over there. I'm going Jamar Chase T. Higgins. I'm going with the young bucks.
Really?
Like these two, like the physicality that Jamar Chase brings and the route running, the speed, catch, he just different, like compared to probably anybody on this list.
Facts.
Like he's just a physical dude. And then on the other side, you got dude 6'5", could go up top, and he can run good routes too.
Yeah.
I think he's still underrated. He doesn't see as many targets probably as some of these other guys do. I don't know. I just like the combination between those two. It's just like two different body types, two different types of players. That's why I roll with those two.
What throw me with Jamar Chase is, bro, like he ain't no small person. You know what I'm saying?
He really not.
When I'm watching on TV and I see him catch a screen and take it 60, I'm just like, what's going on? That's stuff that you expect, to see from Devante Smith and stuff like that. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That Philly tandem with AJ and Devante, man. Oh goodness, AJ is one of them receivers. Again, kind of like obviously a little bit more different than Jamar Chase, but one of them people that's like, I don't see how he be beat, because He not fast.
He's not super fast. He just physical
super fast, but he's super physical, and it just always seemed like he got that step, like he know how to win. Yeah. And then what Slim Reaper bring on the other side, just being able to be that motion guy, he's super smooth, run any route. Yeah, I just gotta go with the Philly tandem, but like you said, that Tampa duo.
I'm about to say that Tampa duo every year too. They do it every
consistent,
year. Consistent every year.
They're not flashy, so probably like some of the other dudes, they don't say nothing, but the numbers there, the stats are there.
You easily got 2,000-yard plus receivers a year. Like they do it every year, and they're quiet about it. I gotta go with who I'm rocking with. Let's keep it a band.
Come on, man.
Let's keep it a band.
Who only had 1 year? He only had 1 year.
Don't matter.
Come on,
bro. Come on, bro. The boy's a dog. Give him his due.
I mean, I ain't worried about him coming into this season.
When they're healthy, they top 2 and they not number 2.
Don't start
That's
that,
all
bro.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be when they healthy. He said, bro. We said when healthy. He said when healthy. He didn't say right now. Right now, I'm definitely
even when healthy. I'm not saying
what are you talking about.
They not.
What you mean, bro? Cool. Name one receiver on this list that's won a Triple Crown.
They haven't, but that don't mean they bet. The stats ain't everything now.
And I will say this, Warren. I will say this. I think Coop is on the same level as any receiver on this list.
I don't disagree.
I'm talking about from Jordan. I'm talking about from Jay Jettas all the way down to whoever you want to. I don't think Puka is there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong. The year
what he did last year as a rookie.
That's it. It's only 1 year. Most of these dudes got multiple.
Right. Well, since I'm handcuffed,
Jordan
people don't know, and people don't know what you're capable of now. So now that I got a year of film.
Fine.
I got a year
since
of
I'm
film
handcuffed,
now.
I can't pick them. I'm gonna go with him.
You couldn't pick
them. No, because I'm gonna get crowd for telling the truth. So I'm gonna go with Tampa just because of the resume that they've had together over the last few years. They've been able to do it year in and year out, 1,000 yards apiece each year, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, and they do it quiet. Like they don't, they're not super flashy. They just get the job done. Them boys been doing it year in and year out. So I'm gonna have to go with them too.
That was gonna be my next pick, but I mean I'm most excited to watch this Devante Adams and Garrett Wilson thing.
For sure.
These routes for days over there. Like both of them dudes run good routes. Got run at the catch, all that stuff, and then hopefully we get to see that old fashioned Aaron Rodgers with them too. It could be something special. I mean I don't know how fast they get back to speed between Aaron Rodgers and Devante Adams, but it could be something. But I will say them guys in Minnesota too, though. They look now, them dudes. I think they probably not like there with some of these other guys yet, as a tandem. But I feel like as the year goes on, if they stay together too, I think Lee better watch out for them boys. Addison Smooth, he almost reminded me like Devontae Smith type of thing. This smooth, running routes, quiet, is gonna make plays.
What year is this for Addison?
2. Yeah.
So he was a rookie last year too, but he's
doing it this year though.
I didn't say.
You think Puka would? Come on.
He's hurt, Warren. Come on, bro. We can't not just go over what if he would be doing X, Y, and Z if he wasn't. He hurt.
But wasn't Jordan Addison hurt majority of the year last year?
No.
Caught like 7 tuds. Like
you're right. You're right.
But I didn't say they was at the top though. I said they not there with everybody yet. But I'm saying fair they on the way.
I just don't want us to breeze past my dogs just because I'm a Rams fan.
We said we respect them. We said we respect them.
I'm sorry we ain't saying Drake London and Darnell Mooney. You might be upset. We ain't saying Kendrick Bourne and
the boy is solid too now. Solid now. Mooney is a sleeper now. He had some good years in Chicago. I know his last couple years there, the numbers wasn't there, but if you watch the tape, that boy runs some. He
is unguardable 1-on-1. I tell you that from experience. Like,
I feel that
he gonna win 1-on-1. He gonna win.
Yeah,
and he's just bringing that element of he's a smaller guy, but super fast, super quick, and can run every route. Yeah. That's the hardest receiver to stop.
Yeah, man.
What about Keenan Allen and DJ Moore though, bro?
You gotta see more. And Keenan,
I didn't see more, but we know who Keenan Allen is, bro. You saw what he did last week and what position he put them in. Like Keenan Allen's still one of them.
He's still solid, but
Jacksonville too.
That.
I ain't taking nothing from Keenan. I'm a huge fan. Fool with him for sure, but. Well, he gonna have some favorable matchups. He gonna play Detroit. He gonna play Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna see for real against some teams that can really, I guess, match up.
Yeah,
skill on skill.
And we still haven't seen the best ball from them yet either. So we'll see as they keep going. Obviously, last week was a stepping stone for them. And hopefully they keep it consistent because those two definitely can go. And they got Adunze too, who I think could be a special player.
Yeah.
And before we get to some of the Week 7 matchups, other football news, out of Pittsburgh, we had Coach Tomlin go out and say, Russell Wilson, he's gonna get some of the first team reps as we kind of ramp him up to see where he's at. And there's a potential for him to start, this Sunday night against the Jets, which would be a tough matchup for either quarterback to go out there and play. How do y'all feel like that, kind of affects their team? Do you think, guys will feel some type of way because, Justin's been playing pretty decent. They're 4-2. Or does Russell deserve, opportunity to step in there because he had a calf injury during training camp? They haven't got to see, much of him. And now they want to see it during practice. And, because they're 27th in the league as far as passing. So they're a solid running team. Justin hasn't turned the football over. He hasn't, lost them, the game by himself. But there is, as if anybody watched the game, there's something missing, from their offense. Do you think Russell gives them that, or should Fields still be starting?
In my opinion, I do think Russell gives them a different element that they haven't had this season. Like we really haven't ever seen Justin be an elite be an elite passer, to be honest with you. And obviously they're winning doing what they're doing. So the hard part is you're winning with what you're doing. Obviously defense has been playing phenomenal, but you've been able to get some production on the offensive side of the ball, even with people stacking the box saying, no, you're going to run the ball. You don't have a lot of, you got, George Pickens, but George Pickens hasn't been super consistent. You don't have really another number two. So you've been able to produce without the air game, right? The passing game. But now just imagine how much more you're going to do with Russell Wilson. Hopefully we get the Russell Wilson pre-Denver, right? Because Denver Russell Wilson wasn't as great as we would have.
Last year was solid.
Last year was solid. Last year was solid for sure. But we've seen better years regardless, even prior to last year, right? So, and then not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, Russell was gonna start the season before the calf injury anyway. So, it's a tough decision to make, especially with all the momentum that you gain. You're 4-2. You're in a great spot. What you've been doing works, but if you can add another element to your game, why not? It's only going to make you better in the long run. Why not give it a chance? Especially early now to figure it out before things really start getting hot later.
I think it's tough because we talk about adding an element, but you're also taking an important element away, which is what Justin Fields has been able to do with his legs in the run game. So, I feel like it's a tough decision. I don't think you can go either right or wrong with it. But I will say, if I am a teammate on the Pittsburgh Steelers, if Russ come out slow and we in a dogfight, I feel like you get a little tense to the point where it's like, all right, now, like we know what's been working for us, right? We sitting at 4-2, been playing some good teams. I don't know if this is the right move. And I just know that, as a team that's always been in the playoff talks, it seems like Mike Tomlin always finds a way to get a team in the playoffs, even if the roster isn't, comparable to all the other teams with superstar, guys on their roster. I just think he just finds a way. But I think it's extremely tough and a tough decision, and we'll see. It's just a matter of what rest we get.
Yeah, I don't mind the decision. I think Russ deserves the opportunity. I don't think, as Perk put in the chat, I don't think Justin Fields lost the job, but I don't think he's necessarily earned the right to just be the guy for the rest of the season based on his performance. He's given him an edge in the run game. He's given him an edge as far as protecting the football and being efficient. But we all know the passing game needs to be better. When it gets down, in November and all that, and teams got even more tape on you, and they're gonna, really hone in on your run game. And let's see if Justin Fields is going to throw it. Let's see if he can get it to Pickens or Van Jefferson or Firemouth or some of these guys consistently and see if that's the way they can win football. It's going to be tough, when teams really scheme you up. But I do think if Russell starts this weekend, you still have to have packages with Justin Fields in there. Keep him involved. Yeah, sure. He can get in there, throw the football, run it however they see fit. But keep him mixed in there. Keep his confidence going because, look, there should be a short leash on Rush. Like, if he's not going out there, doing what he needs to do, hey, Justin, you back in there. Kind of is what it is. And Mike Tomlin's never been afraid to make those changes. He did it last year, a couple of years ago. Mitch Trubisky started, then Kenny Pickett was in there, then guys back, Mason Rudolph. So, look, he don't care. How do we figure out a way to win football games? Whoever I feel is giving me the best opportunity to win, he's going to put those guys in there. So it's tough decisions, that have to be made. This is a tough one. Look, I'm not in that locker room. I don't know, how they feel about it as players. I know, Justin came out today in his interview. He's like, look, like, if I'm being honest, I, haven't played, like, as great as I wanted to play. And, like, if I did, then we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. So he's real, with himself, which is good, to look yourself in the mirror and be like, look, if I was out there balling, this wouldn't even come up. So, look, the conversation come up. I could be better. I know that. It kind of is what it is. So, it's tough.
It's tough, bro. It's tough because we sit here and we look at a 4-2 team and we look at the two games they lost. They lost to the Colts, which, they were down the whole game and they had to fight and claw back. And James, like it's going to be some weeks like that in the NFL where you kind of start a little slow and they clawed back and made it a winnable game at the end. And then you look at a game against Dallas. again, another game they were in, winnable game. Got to make certain plays that got to be made, and it's just not plays from him.
Yeah.
Again, it's a team effort, right? So
yes, team.
I just think he gave the political answer. But to say that he don't think like he hasn't played well enough to be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't agree with, man. Because everybody knows, right? You got to win different ways in this league. You got some teams that are able to throw for 300, 400 yards, and then you got teams that they got to ground and pound, or they got to figure out other ways, whether it be winning on defense. It's like you just win different ways. So I think for him, he got to keep his confidence.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, like James said, I definitely think you gotta have packages for Justin Fields because he gives you an element in the run game that gives you an advantage. But I don't want us to forget, like Russell can you're not gonna. You may not have design runs for Russell. Let's get
in the red zone. You can do it
right in the red zone. But we've seen Russell be able to get out the pocket, extend plays, get yards with his feet. Like he's been able to do that, right? And so I do think he still has somewhat of that element to be able to escape pressure, get the ball out quick, extend plays, and then throw a 70-yard bomb down the field or whatever it may be. Like we've seen that out of him before. Now, obviously, that's old Russell. We'll see what we get now. But then also, like I just like those close games you were talking about, Breeze, with Dallas and Indy. Like some of those games, you have to be able to get the ball downfield, like to be able to predict, to be able to get yourself out of a hole, and you can't continue to Najee, Justin, nickel and down the run game. Like you have to be able to throw the ball downfield, and I don't know if. Not saying that Justin can't do it, but from what we've been able to see, from Justin being in Chicago, and then now just like I haven't seen him be able to stretch the ball downfield and open up some of that, open up some of the running lanes to give you more of a running opportunity, like to be able to, extend plays down the field with his arm. Like I just don't know if that's something that we're gonna see from him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because we haven't seen it in the past, and that's something you need to have that.
Now I do believe with Russell at quarterback, I think we see more action from a guy like George Pickens. Like I feel like he's gonna give him opportunities, one-on-one, contested, open, not open. I feel like he'll give him a chance to go out there and make a play. Russ, I mean, to me, he's always thrown one of the best deep passes, in the game of football when he lets it rip. So, maybe that's what they want to see. The top be taking off a defense every now and then, or just give guys a chance. I don't know. Like I don't know whether they see something in practice what Russell's doing that Justin's not doing. That we not in the building, but the coaches know. And they're going whatever they decide to do is on them.
And it's time for GP to step up, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that we've been seeing in the media. Him wanting to be a true number one, and also his contract year kind of coming up. I don't know if it's next year or the year after, but it's time.
This year 3 for him. So I mean, we really playing for that right now.
It's time to go. So. It just Russ being able to give him opportunities, like you said, being able to throw a nice deep ball, also being a vet, dealing with multiple ones that he's dealt with, whether that goes all the way back to Seattle days, even before DK and the receiver groups he had back then. So it's just going to be interesting to see, man. But Pittsburgh is one of those teams I've been enjoying watching, right? Always play good defense. They got one of our former teammates, TJ Watt, who he's been he's been nothing new there. So it's just time for the offense to kind of put it together and kind of take the next step.
100%. Now we're going to we got some good Week 7 matchups in the NFL. We got KC at San Fran. We got Jets at Steelers. That's Sunday Night Football. We got Detroit at Minnesota. We got Houston at Green Bay. Baltimore at Tampa. And Seattle at Atlanta. So there's some good football games this weekend. Which game y'all looking forward to?
I'm gonna set off rip that. I'm saying Baltimore and Tampa. Ooh, right? I seen that and immediately said, "Whoa!" I think that might be a Monday night game. I might be checking. I don't know, but I seen that and immediately was like, Baltimore and Tampa. That should be a good game. We're talking about Tampa. They've been playing good defense. Devante, David. It kind of regressed a little bit in the run game, right? We used to them not being able to give up, 100-yard rushers, but still making plays on defense. And then just the offense. We talked about it. How you gonna start? How you gonna start Mike? How you gonna start Chris Godwin? Baker's been baking, man.
Facts.
he playing good ball, and then on the other side of the ball, Derrick Henry having an MVP type year. Lamar Jackson. It's a star-driven matchup that I'm excited to be able to just sit down and watch.
Bro, I'm gonna say Detroit and Minnesota, dog.
That's
gonna be
a
a heightened clash.
Where's the game at, James?
It's at Minnesota.
At Minnesota.
Ooh,
and you talking about and we've said this before, like Jared Goff might be one of the only QBs that may be able to break down this defense.
We're gonna see.
And yeah, we gonna see. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't trying to get back on this, but Staffy go see him, the next week. So this gonna be T-State. We gonna learn
a 1-4, Warren. Stop.
No matter. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We're gonna win this week, and then we're gonna pick it back up next week at Minnesota. So we're gonna get back on the train. But anyway, Detroit. I'm excited about Detroit. I think Detroit really has a chance to put their stamp on a division, right? Minnesota's 5-0. Minnesota's been playing some great ball, but I mean, somebody's got to be able to beat that defense, and this is Detroit's opportunity. Yeah. They have the weapons, they have the pieces, they can run, they can pass, they can do it both. Jared Goff is a great quarterback, so we'll see.
You want me to tell you what I think? I don't think Detroit has nobody to stop Jay Jettas, bro. And I don't disagree with you. That's the key piece to all of this. Like, it's going to take a team that can figure out a game plan to stop him, even with all the double teams and the two shell looks and all that stuff. It's going to take somebody really that really know how to stop him. That's going to be able to take away, other options. Yeah, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings. Vikings just had a bye week, so they had a week off. See if they, come out slow. See if they still come out firing against a division opponent. Dan Campbell. I know he's gonna try and throw the kitchen sink at him.
How many fourth downs he gonna go for? How many fourth downs he gonna go for?
I know he's swinging for the fences against them, but we'll see if Sam Darnold can stay in rhythm, get the ball to his playmakers, see if this defense can find a way to slow down, this run game. I think that's going to be the toughest thing for Minnesota. How you going to slow down Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs? I think that's the way you stop Brian Flores and them attacking you on defense, all these different looks. You got to run the ball at them, so that way they can't get in all these fancy looks and throw all these pressures at you. Get the ball out of your hands, quickly, but you got to know where you're throwing it. You can't throw it into those guys japping out of line of scrimmage just like Aaron Rodgers did a couple weeks ago, because that's what they want you to do. I think if you can effectively run the football, which Detroit can, I think they can get Minnesota their first loss. But it's gonna be a good matchup, man. Now, I'm definitely excited for this one. Like I said, I'm still on that Detroit hype train for sure. But Minnesota, they've been balling. Defensively, they've been doing a heck of a job. It's another tough offense for them to match up against, but they've handled business against some really good offenses, and they had kind of like 2 weeks to kind of like a week and a half to kind of prepare for this matchup too. So I'm interested to see what Flo draws up against them.
And Detroit present their own problems too, man. That run game and pass game been out of this world, right? I mean,
J-Mo been going crazy too.
And J-Mo is the key piece, right? Because we know what St. Brown can do, and he's a slot guy. I think a lot of people don't really. I don't want to say a lot of people don't fear him, but it's not more so of a take the top off the defense. Yeah. It's more of a intermediate routes, and you're gonna give up some of those, right?
You're gonna get his regardless,
You're gonna get his regardless, but that's not what beats you. It's that taking the top off the defense, and that element that J-Mo present, he different, man. So Gilly Lock, all them boys might have a little tough one this week. We gonna see, man, but it's gonna be. And I'm interested to see how B-Flow draw that up, because he got a game plan again. By week, I'm sure he been scouting and doing his homework. He gonna draw something up for Jared.
Yeah. And we done battled him a couple years. I mean, we done battled Jared quite a few times in New England, so I'm sure he knows kind of how to play against him. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, how he tries to figure it out. It's the type of matchups you like to see, in the NFL. We're going to switch it over to some college football, Week 8. We got some more very good matchups. We got Georgia at Texas. That's a Saturday night game. You got Alabama at Tennessee. That's going to be fire. You got Big Ten, Michigan at Illinois. You got Miami at Louisville, little sleeper game right there. Miami glad to better come to play. And then you got Nebraska at Indiana, who's undefeated. So Indiana, a little sleeper team too. So this would be a good matchup to really see what they all about. Yeah, they I don't know what their ranking is currently, but they've been playing ball, and they coach. They coach Signetti. He said it, in his opening press conference. They asked him like, "What would you say to your recruits?" I win. And
I win.
Google me right now.
Google me.
And where he came from? James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison.
He did a heck of a job there, turned around that program. And
brought a bunch of players from James Madison.
Yeah, got at least 4 or 5 players from there. So you can tell those guys believe in his style of coaching. I'm sure they're going to start to get more and more recruits to go out there and play ball. So I think this is good, for the Big Ten too, for teams like Indiana to be in this spot. Hopefully they can win some of these big time games because the more parity we have, in the Big Ten, that helps us. Maybe we get some of this favoritism that the SEC starting to get, all that stuff. So I don't know what matchup y'all looking forward to.
Again, it's just a good week of college football. But now that you say it, like that Indiana game is kind of like big on my map, just for the simple fact that I know we've been talking about it, but Indiana maybe kind of never showed it really in the wins and losses column, but they always been good offensively. Mm-hmm. You look at them when they played Ohio State, they always push Ohio State. Either sometimes it done been for a half, or some games it's actually been down to the wire. But they're just a team that present a lot of problems with the offensive side of the ball, and they just been able to move it and score. It's hard to stop teams that can score really good. At the college football level. So I think Indiana's a team to watch. I don't know what their remaining schedule is looking like, but if I was their coach, I'd just be telling them like, hey, bro, just control what you can control. Whoever on the schedule next, just win that game. Because if we do what we're supposed to do at the end of this whole thing, no matter what it is or whatever, we're gonna be where we need to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's but obviously the Georgia and Texas game is huge. Because we talking about this could be a second loss for GA. The schedule get tougher. I don't know.
Bro, Indiana very well could run the table. They got Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Northwestern, Maryland, and Charlotte. So the boys can go. The boys can go 12.
No. You talking about the rest of the season?
Wrong thing. I'm sorry. Wrong thing.
Yeah.
But they got Indiana, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan. That's gonna be tough. Oh, never mind. Ohio State, wrong.
Never mind.
Wrong. Skipped over the wrong thing. That's some games they already played. So they still got Michigan and Ohio State. So that's. But Michigan beatable. They could beat Michigan.
Michigan's beatable. They might lose to Illinois this week. I ain't gonna lie. Illinois look good too.
No, they play Nebraska. They play Nebraska this week.
Y'all playing?
No, I'm talking about Michigan. I said Michigan might lose this week.
Ohio State is beatable. They just lost, but dang, the running game ain't look as good. Like Ohio State is in a situation where you better get your get your shit together. It could turn left too. So it's a lot of teams that they better figure it out. And Ohio State one of them.
It's gonna get real for a lot of teams. Look, we getting that into October, November. Hey, the loss is gonna hurt.
Get a little cold outside, bro. Hey, a little cold.
Bundle up.
The loss definitely gonna hurt. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Alabama-Tennessee game too. Alabama, man, I'm just still not convinced, man. Tennessee, one of them teams. You come out BSing like they did the last couple weeks. They got playmakers that can go get it. And look, I see what the quarterback's on. Nico, see he come out ready to ball. There's some holes in that Alabama defense. We'll see if Milroe, kind of gets it back going. Stop turning the football over. Be that dynamic player that he is, because he's a special football player when he's locked in and going. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. That's always a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Georgia, Texas. I'm trying to see what Texas is really about. I mean, and Georgia had a loss early on against Bama.
Yeah, but they came back. Yeah,
it was Bama, right? They came back though, so I'm excited to see because Texas. I don't think Texas beat Michigan early in the year. Have they played anybody really since then?
Not really. Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma. They beat them down. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma ain't bad. It's a rivalry game. Oklahoma ain't really looked that game. I mean, Oklahoma ain't really looked that good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they didn't. I watched that game.
I know, but these look.
But here's the question, though. Here's my question. You lose to Georgia, do you start Manning?
You go. No, they're not gonna do it.
No.
Look. That's a tough matchup. Look,
I'm messing, bro. I'm messing. But no, that's a game I'm looking forward to. Texas being number 1, Georgia being number 5. Georgia's gonna want to get a dub to get themselves, in a better spot. Obviously, they're sitting at 5, but especially to win the SEC. So, I mean, I think that's gonna be a really good game. We saw what Georgia could do against a good team at Alabama. Obviously, it's not the same Alabama we've seen in years past, but it's still a good team nonetheless. So to be able to see what happens between those two teams against another good team is gonna be a good game to watch.
This whole thing just super dope to me. Like, we got Georgia going to Texas, bro.
That's fire.
That's fire, man. I mean, you talking about a fan base that really travel well too with Georgia. So it's gonna be interesting just to see the balance. Obviously, the home game for Texas. You know how geek they are about Texas football, and then having a strong fan base with just being just the winning that they've been and the success they've been having over the last maybe 3-4 years, 5 years, getting them to go to Texas is going to be super dope. And then seeing, I think this is the first time Georgia been an underdog in the spread or anything.
50 games and 50 games.
Which is crazy. So I just college football is where it need to be this year, man. It's like you said, it's been exciting, and man, I just love it. As things starting to heat up and ramp up a little bit more, it's like it's something to just truly look forward to every weekend.
It's fun. It's a great year for college football. I can't keep emphasizing that enough. It's been a lot of fun to watch these mega conferences. I'm sure I've been seeing some tweets or some messages on social media that SEC and Big Ten are already in talks trying to form some mega thing, which that'll be insane. But I'm sure that'll happen at some point.
Crazy.
That'd be crazy.
It will be wild.
We really gonna have to step our junk up.
In other news too, we got the WNBA Finals still going on. Last night Sabrina Ionescu hit a little crisscross. Tracy from almost at the logo. That's dope. So the Liberty up 2-1 on the Lynx. Y'all think it's a wrap, or what y'all? I think so. I know I had the Lynx, picking them. Liberty trying to win their first championship. So that's they got a lot of star power over there. I think once they go up 2-1, I think it might be over with for the Lynx, man.
They play in Minnesota.
I'm not sure.
So game 3 was in that game that she game 3 was in Minnesota. So it should be game 4 should be Minnesota.
Yep.
That's gonna be tough, man. That's gonna be tough. I mean, I think New York can close it, but I think it's going to be a close game. To try to close out Minnesota at home, because they haven't been playing bad ball.
But Minnesota.
Does that last game go to? Does it go to? Is it 3 wins?
They play 5. They play only 5-game series.
They only play 5.
Even in the finals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it might have moved. I thought the finals for women might have moved.
This one.
In Minnesota they had to scratch and claw, to get that one. So
to get that first one.
Yeah. So.
But Minnesota was up that whole game. Game 3.
Get this last one.
Minnesota was up that whole game, and the Liberty crawled back, and obviously it took a
big shot,
a game winner and a big shot to kind of get him, to beat them. But that elimination game and Minnesota coming out, their guns blazing, right?
Let's do or die right now.
I need everything in the tank. Everything in the tank. If it don't get done and we take a loss, I can live with that, right?
Do y'all think they need to move the WNBA season, like the playoffs and everything? Because right now they in the midst of NFL football, college football, MLB playoffs, basketball preseason. So sometimes I feel like I get lost in the shuffle, at some time. So I don't know whether
I think it got messed up because of the Olympics. I don't really know.
Yeah,
but I remember the WNBA was going on, and then it just stopped for a period of time. Obviously, because the women's Olympics was over. Competing for the gold. So I don't know if the WNBA if it would still be going on right now. If it was just a regular schedule, but if it's like this all the time, I kind of like it, bro. I kind of like it. Again, it's something to look forward to every night. Like, this is the best time of the year. The World Series is about to crank up. You got baseball playoffs going on. We in the midst of week 6, week 7 in college football, NFL football, women's basketball going on, and NBA about to start back up in like 2 weeks. Like everything is just going on. Where it's something that you can, as a sports fan, if you're a sports fan, you got something to look to every night.
100%.
I was gonna say, and the more it gets bigger, the more that the WNBA continues to grow. Like, I don't think that would be much of an issue, to be honest with you. I think the hard part, Matt just pointed it out. Like, a lot of the games are scheduled and it's going up against the NFL schedule. So I think that's hard. Maybe, you know, if they switch around different days, as Matt alluded to, but I think right now where it's at, a lot of it in the past, like it being lost in the shuffle, was because like it wasn't as big. But now with where it's at and how it's going and the trajectory it's going in, as long as it continues to grow, I think it's in a good spot. I think it's fine.
I'm telling you that game evolving too. You gonna have Juju,
sure.
you gonna have Juju soon. You got Paige Beckers coming in there.
I didn't think of that.
And then look, we just seen a little clip of the Duke girls. They throwing alley-oops on the backboard, and the girls dunking it.
I gotta see it. I ain't see it.
So it's the game is evolving. So shout out to the women's basketball. They've been doing a heck of a job with it. They are elite, talented players, and obviously we're going to continue to watch. This game's going to get bigger and bigger, and they're going to start making the money that they deserve. But that's a wrap for this Money Down podcast on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Keep liking, keep subscribing. More exclusive content coming soon.